Hello there, today you find me at London Euston, where today I'll be travelling with Avanti West Coast aboard the recently refurbished Class 390 Pendolino set from here to Birmingham. But before we do any of that, let's actually go on and explore the station. And yes, from now on I'll be using a mix of both my voice and text to narrate my videos from now on. If you like this video, then be sure to subscribe for more content like this, as I have more epic content planned for this year. Anyways, London Euston was built in the year 1837 by the London and Birmingham Railway, and currently acts as the London terminus of the West Coast Main Line, which serves major cities in the UK such as Birmingham, Crewe, Manchester and Glasgow. In terms of rail services, Avanti West Coast and London North Western Railway are the main operators, while the Caledonian Sleeper and the London Overground also operate from here, and hopefully in the future HS2 will also operate out of here. But that's enough of me waffling on. Let's actually go and explore the station and see what it has to offer. On Coursera, you'll find these modern train screens which shows the departure from the station, as well as the operator and the amount of coaches your service has. Very useful. Unfortunately, I was travelling with my family at the time and wasn't able to properly explore the station. However, for my previous visits to the station, I do know that it features lots of restaurants as well as a toilet facility. There is also a first class lounge if you're travelling on first class with the operators from the station. As soon as the platform for my service was announced, everyone rushed over. But don't worry, this is actually a very common issue at Euston Station, which is why it's being upgraded to handle current capacity. If you want to avoid the crowd, then I suggest you use real-time trains to be the first one to board. And if you somehow manage to miss your train to Birmingham, then don't worry, as services usually depart from Euston every 2 hours with Avanti West Coast, and the same for London North Western Railway. Something I find really annoying about the station is that staff have to check your ticket for the intercity services instead of you actually inserting them into the ticket gates yourself. However, I understand that this is much more simpler, as the ticket gates are a bit iffy, if you know what I mean. And here is my train for the day, a Class 390 Pendolino set, built by Euston from 2001 to 2012. These tilting trains have been serving the West Coast Main Line from 2002 till now, and they are not going anywhere. Avanti West Coast currently own 57 of these trains. Since these trains are 11 coaches long, it's going to be quite a walk to my coach, as I'm travelling in standard class today. Maybe I'll travel in first class another time. As I walk down to my coach, here are some more interesting facts about these trains. They first entered service with version trains to replace the aging fleet of Class 86s, 87s and 90s, as well as a few Mark II and III coaches on the West Coast Main Line, as to speed up journey times between major cities on the line. They were built in both Birmingham and Italy, which if you ask me is quite the combination. They were built with a top speed of 125 miles per hour, as we'll see later of course. Some of these units even have a name. Our train is called the Flying Scousman, which is named as part of a train naming competition back in 2017. Checking online tells me that this particular unit is 390048, for those train nerds of course. After what seems like forever, we finally reach our coach. Let's hop on. As soon as I enter the carriage, I'm greeted with a luggage rack, which is useful for those with lots of stuff. The seats themselves look really new, but let's just find our seat first and we'll look at them later.
Where is it? 25.
Today, I'll be sitting in an airline style seat facing forward, as my reservation that I booked has put me here. We have some time before our departure, so it's time to check out the seat. Anyways, despite the appearance, the seat itself is really comfortable, as Avanti gave them brand new padding at the top and the bottom. I particularly like the maquette, as it gives Avanti its own brand identity, as opposed to using the old Virgin Train maquette. This is definitely a step in the right direction for Avanti. Hopefully their future trains have the same type of seating.
Oh, wow, that's rare. Sorry, just have to record that. Anyways.
After being mesmerized by a new train, let's check out the rest of the seat. The table is quite sturdy, but a bit too small if you ask me, and at the bottom of the seat you can find a USB and plug socket charging. You can find the old reservation system up above, which partially works nowadays. There are also reading lights and overhead luggage spaces in case the other ones are full. Now onto something interesting about the refurbishment. The table in the bay seats are actually made of recycled plastic bottles. Over 700,000 bottles were delivered to make these tables, which is possibly my favourite part of this refurbishment. We now depart London Euston. The journey time to Birmingham will be just 2 hours, as our train travels at a top speed of 125 miles per hour over 161 kilometers. Now let's take a look at today's route map. Our train will firstly call at Coventry before making a stop at Birmingham International and finally ending up at Birmingham New Street, where our service will end for the day. The first part of our journey will see us leaving central London under lots of bridges and tunnels as we parallel the local commuter lines until Watford Junction. As we leave, let's talk about ticket prices. I paid a total amount of £54 for 2 adults and 3 children, but if you're planning on going solo, then you'll be paying fares of up to £40 depending on the time you book it. There is also the alternative of the Avanti Superfare, in which you choose if you like to travel in the morning, afternoon or evening, and 24 hours before your train, you'll be notified of which services you're on. Tickets on the Birmingham route can usually cost £9, which you ask me is an absolute bargain. As we leave the outer areas of London, we quickly pick up speed, as you can see here, as the train accelerated from 155 to 178 km per hour in such a short span of time. Simply incredible. If you're a big train enthusiast, then you'll like this. If you sit on the right hand side, then you'll get a great view of Watford CE sidings, which features a lot of old and new trains. Here we can see an old Greater Anglia Class 321, which will be heading for scrap unfortunately. Here is a great example of the train tilting feature. The tilting enables the train to tilt 8 degrees horizontally, as the tracks here are actually slanted by 6 degrees, which means by tilting the train we gain a 20% increase in speed. Here we are now speeding through Watford Junction. This marks the end of the London suburbs as we get closer to our destination. Enough seat time, let's go and explore the train. Here we are in the vestibule area. It features an Avanti network map which shows destinations and services that Avanti offers, as well as a few pull down seats and a small bin to put away your rubbish. Here we are in the wheelchair accessible toilet. The surface was sticky for some reason, but apart from that I'm pleased to announce that everything was working as it should be. Very good from Avanti today so far.
Oh, okay. So that does end.
As we approached Chessington, our train began to slow down for some unknown reason. If I had to take a guess, I'd say it's due to our service catching up to another one. This short delay would have a massive impact on our schedule, as you'll see later as we get closer to the Midlands. After a short 10-minute wait, our train began to pick up speed again. I'm just disappointed that we were not given a reason as to why we slowed down from the driver or any of the staff. Here I am testing out the wireless charging. Apparently these are only compatible to iPhones, which is a bit of a letdown if you ask me. Here we are passing Rugby Station. This station is usually the first stop on the Birmingham services, but today we'll be slowly rolling through. Avanti and London North Western Railway are the only operators that call here and provide both fast and slow services to London and the North / the Midlands. A while later, we arrive into Coventry, our first stop on this service. This station is a major hub in the Midlands with service from Avanti, West Midlands Railway, London North Western Railway and Cross Country. A fun fact I learnt about the station is that it will be served by the Coventry Light Rail system in 2025. I guess that means that Coventry will be worth a visit for any enthusiasts soon. If you travelled with Avanti in the past, then you know that any journey with them is not perfect. The same applies to today's service. We seem to be delayed by 9 minutes, probably due to that random stop we made a while ago. Unfortunately, we will not be viable for delay compensation. And now we arrive late into our next stop, Birmingham International. This station connects to Birmingham International Airport, which has flights to places such as Dusseldorf, Paris and Brussels. To get to the airport you have to take the Aero link, which interestingly used to be a maglev, but was removed due to electrical failures. It has the same services as Coventry, but Transport for Wales also stop here, providing direct trains towards Holyhead and Aberystwyth. As we leave Birmingham International, I think it's now time I give my opinion on today's service. So, what do I think about the Pendolino refurbishment, you may be asking? Overall, I'd say I actually enjoyed it. Whether it was the seats or the new wireless charging, Avanti has outdone themselves here and have managed to make an already great train even greater. My favourite part of this refurbishment has to be the recycled bottles used to make the brand new tables. Hats off to Avanti for this one. But enough of what I thought. What do you think of Avanti's Pendolino refurbishment? Let me know in the comments below. As we make our way towards New Street, we can see Curzon Street. This station will serve as the brand new HS2 station from here to Euston, and hopefully at some point be a station for high-speed services to the north and beyond. Anyways, here we are in Birmingham New Street, the final stop for today's service. This station connects to the Grand Central Shopping Centre, which is where I'll be heading now. Let me go first. If you liked today's video, then be sure to subscribe for more content like this, and also feel free to join the Discord. You can find a link for it in the description below. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Goodbye.